You're watching Life Report, pro-life talk, real-world answers. Life Report trains people to more effectively defend their pro-life beliefs while honestly examining the strengths and weaknesses of both sides. We're the show other pro-lifers may have warned you about. This is Life Report.
Ironically, it was 14 episodes ago that I started the show by saying, we're on TV! And we had this whole thing because we thought that episode 100 was going to be our first show on TV. And now, looking back at it, just feels really stupid.
Epic fail.
Because now people see it on YouTube and it's like, dude, it's on computer, not TV. But anyway.
Epic fail.
Hey, if you're like me, your computer is your TV.
Right, a lot of
you
people
don't
watch.
really
That's
watch
true.
TV.
It's combined anyway, so
There we
it's
go.
all
watch it on.
it's
line.
all fine. But this is actually our premiere episode, so welcome KNXT, are the people watching KNXT. What do you say, the
There you go.
KNXT? Those of you that have tuned
audience.
into Channel 49, welcome.
Welcome,
This is
yes.
Life Report, and unlike last time, episode 100, we spent like half the time talking about the show for the benefit of our. If you want to see that, go on to prolifepodcast.net, look at episode 100, and you can see. I'm just going to sum up really quickly what this show is for the people that are new to this. I'm Josh Brom. I'm a pro-life speaker, debater. I travel around sometimes speaking, and this is what I do. Liz Goddard, paralegal and college student, comes at us with a legal aspect. Mm-hmm. Difference between Liz and me, we found out, I think, especially in episode 101, which content-wise, my all-time favorite episode. We found out that I tend to be a little bit more wussy sometimes when I'm talking to pro-choice people because I really want to be the nice pro-lifer, and you're a little more bulldog. So that's what we kind of found out.
Hey,
differentiates
President State
us.
Bulldog. That's my alma mater.
Exactly. So that and
Yep.
okay, Kyle, Liz's husband,
Mm-hmm.
Howdy.
and works here at Fresno Right to Life as the director of outreach, which means he does all the college campus logistics and the 40 Days for Life Pre-Vigil logistics,
Yep.
and anything else logistics, because that's the way Kyle's
There's
mind
a
works.
theme to this.
Something
It's,
like that.
it's you know, like when Kyle was setting up for the auction, like every time I walked into his office, he'd have a new flow chart. He literally hand-drawn of how this part of the bank was going to work. And I'm like, it is so cool that there are people whose brains work that way because mine doesn't. So besides that, the other difference between me and Kyle is that Kyle speaks theological speak better than I do. And
Or
it's
just
not,
big words. Big words.
we're
in general.
both theologically minded, I think, and philosophically minded. But just Kyle's the guy you want in the pastor's meeting because all the pastors are like, "Wow, this guy he's good," you know, kind of. a thing.
Or are irritated. One of the two.
And I don't talk very well. So, Carrie Guy, who used to be on every show.
Yes, but you're not going to see me for a while.
And it's
I
well,
wonder why.
For one thing, because the next 9 episodes we've pre-recorded and you're not on them. So that's
Yes.
we've actually called you the special guest on our thing just because everyone's gonna be like,
Aw.
"Where's
They're
that
pushing
Carrie
me
person?"
out. It's
I'm not.
quite sad.
But Carrie was on for a really long time. But then see, I don't know if
It's
you can
little
tell.
guy,
These are
that's what it
HD
is.
cameras. I don't know if you can tell. She's a little pregnant.
yeah,
Just a little.
due soon. I'm hoping I don't have the baby driving home 45
I'm hoping,
minutes tonight.
I'm hoping not too. So, but Carrie comes at this. She's been really open on the show. She's post-abortive, so she's able to understand women that have had abortions a lot better than I can, and so she's able to really kind of bring a new dynamic to the show. And she's a youth pastor, and she comes at it with that. So that is our show. Here's basically what we do on Life Report: is we are training pro-life people to think better, to think more clearly, to have better conversations with pro-choice people, because we believe that you shouldn't just have your beliefs and I want to do that hide them under the bush thing, but that would be
No.
so corny. So just not, and you sing it, and so just don't. But
Now
we
you said that,
we
now I'm
think
gonna
yeah,
start
don't just
singing.
stop. No.
All right. All right.
No.
Starting to deteriorate.
We do that. But we think you should talk to people about your views, and so we analyze pro-choice arguments. We analyze bad pro-life arguments, and this is kind of one of our niches, is that there's a few bad pro-life arguments, and we talk about them
Only a few.
because we want you to learn from the mistakes that other people have made, basically, is what we want to do. And so that is what we do. Just so you guys know, on TV, we've been doing this for a couple of years now. This is our 114th episode we've recorded. We have approximately 1,000 fans from around the world, 5 out of 7 continents, that really like hearing
If you're from
us
South America or
do a thing.
Antarctica.
I know. If you are in South America or Antarctica, please contact
Please.
me and let me know that you're listening, because then we would have 6 out of 7. So before we get into, I was supposed to ask you real quick. Okay, everybody, favorite thing about being on the show? You've been doing this now for 2 years. Favorite thing about being on the show, Liz?
Having someone else do my makeup. No.
Yeah, we have a makeup artist now, which is really kind of weird.
No, but
Right, Kyle? Right? Right?
Somebody
Little
else
weird?
is taking care of how I look. I'm cool.
Okay, Liz.
well, in reality, my favorite thing about our show is the dialogical, conversational approach that we take to a really controversial issue. Instead of just barricading ourselves in our positions, we can come out and look at the interests and help people come to a mutual understanding of this issue. It's just a friendly way to look at it. It's very, very much along the lines of what I do as a mediator, and I really like it.
Question. Is dialogical actually a word?
Yeah, I was
It
like,
is now.
I don't think it is.
An emphasis on dialogue as opposed to argument.
Right, or debate, yeah.
debate,
All right, very good. Kyle.
Well, I like the diabolical approach.
I was gonna say, that's what that word reminded me of.
Yeah.
No, I'm always a fan of spouting my beliefs. My favorite part of being on this show is the opportunity to present tools that people can use in everyday conversation to defend what are some really significant ethical and moral issues of the time, and to be a part of a current events discussion that often gets swept under the rug or is entertained without any real knowledge. And so I like being able to bring that to the table. And in spite of my theological speak, I like to try and make some sense every now and again.
Every once in a while, you make some good sense.
You know, on a fluke.
Yeah.
We're getting a little too
Carrie.
serious, so I'm going to say that I enjoy
Too
hearing
serious.
myself talk and laugh.
I knew it. I knew it.
Kidding.
Your
I'm just
laugh,
joking.
Fucker.
Your laugh is infamous on this show.
No, but I do enjoy bringing, the pro life post-abortive view to the table, because I do think for many years it was one that was not heard. So I
And I
enjoyed
think a
that.
lot of people just didn't really. I think a lot of pro-life people didn't properly understand
Right,
where
and
post-abortive
that's
were coming
definitely
from.
it.
And I think you've really
And I
helped
have
with
to
that.
get off topic really quickly because Liz did mention her alma mater, the Bulldogs, and I have to give a shout out to mine. I went to TCU and we won the Rose Bowl, so
What the what?
Oh,
Raise the roof. I
okay.
saw that game.
I'm pretty excited
It's
about
excellent.
my Horned Frogs. So
Frogs.
yeah.
Is that really
it
their name?
that-
Horned
Yeah,
frogs.
it's the Horned Frogs.
It's true.
The mascot is Super Frog, and you should have seen him on there. But yeah, we are. It's the Horned Frogs. This
Horned
is
Frogs.
our whatever you would call this. What is
Clearly,
this?
I'm
Gesture.
not a football fan.
Sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Thank
so
you for
we're
You're
that.
back
wearing
on
TCU
task.
colors.
Yeah, back on
TCU
task.
colors on your nails too.
Yeah, they are on my nails. Yes.
Good
Purple.
times. Good times.
Nice.
My favorite thing about being on the show is getting to dialogue with the pro-choice fans that listen to our show every week. I think that's really, really
That
cool.
is right up your alley,
they say things like, you actually take us seriously. You're not making fun of us all the time. If you're looking, just so you know, if you're on KNXT, if you're looking for people that are going to make fun of pro-choice people all the time, then you're going to be sadly disappointed.
Well, and I would say what you say too, listening to some of our pro-choice listeners as well. I mean, getting that, you know,
and
interaction
really getting
there.
good dialogue on. Real quick before we go to our first story, I want to share with you guys. This isn't technically a listener mail, as someone posted on our Facebook fan page. Which, if you go to Facebook, you can find our fan page. It's linked from our website, prolifepodcast.net. Okay, Antonio from Portugal. He's one of our Portugalists. Wait, is Portugal South America? No, it's not.
Portugal is Europe.
on.
Where's
So
your
dumb.
geography?
So dumb. I totally didn't say
gosh.
that.
That
It's
would
next
be-
to Spain.
Yes, it is.
The whole Christopher Columbus country.
You
Okay.
have quite a large Portuguese
Wow.
audience in this
There's
area.
a bunch of
so-
historians
So bad.
rolling in their grave
It sounds.
right now.
It sounds.
Okay,
never
our
mind.
credibility is gone.
Never mind.
Nobody's
Anyway,
gonna...
look, I
This
was
is not
homeschooled.
geography report.
World geography was not the number one thing that we
Okay.
hit.
Don't bash
Okay?
on
I know.
homeschoolers,
I'm
not
okay?
bashing on
I was
homeschoolers.
homeschooled. I
I'm
know where
just saying,
Portugal is.
I am an expert on ancient history, Egypt, but world geography, not so much.
Gentlemen, how about we focus on the issues?
Antonio from Portugal, I just thought this was cute. He posted on our wall. He said, "I'm sorry if I offend you, but when Josh gets all angry and starts talking really fast, he sounds just like Kermit."
Okay, so really, time out. Let me
Kermit
just
the
say.
Frog here.
Let me just say really quickly. Josh really knows where Portugal is. He just had to slam this guy for saying he sounded like Kermit.
Not at all.
Kidding.
Um,
I'm just
Kermit the
joking.
Frog.
Oh,
Really?
That's awesome.
That's-
That is awesome.
Miss Piggy.
Really?
No, that's
I'm gonna call Hannah Miss Piggy.
If you do, she just had a baby. She will kill you.
Oh,
She'll kill you. Speaking of which, we just had our second kid, so for our fans, that's pretty cool. He says, it's true. Regards from Portugal. Love your podcast, or should I say show. Thank you, Antonio.
awesome. Thank
First
you,
story.
Bravo, Antonio. Props to you, sir.
Wow. That's...
Oh, goodness.
I knew you guys would like that. Okay, this is our first story I want to talk about. This was in Sun Magazine recently. A woman in England who actually shared her story with Sun Magazine, who has had 4 abortions in 3 years.
Wow.
Stacy Cutler listens to her 22-week-old unborn child's heartbeat, and her eyes fill with tears. The story opens. The grainy scan shows the fully developed fetus moving around inside her. But Stacy's tears are not of joy at seeing her baby for the first time. She has made the heartbreaking decision to have an abortion at this late stage. In England, 24 weeks is the legal limit. So she's at 22. She's 2 weeks before the legal limit. The 22-year-old mom of 1 has terminated 4 pregnancies in the last 3 years.
Wow.
She felt that she was not financially or emotionally secure enough to have another child. But while Stacy assures she was simply doing the best for her family, many would say that she was using abortion as a form of contraception with no regards to the rights of her unborn child. No. Stacy believes she made the right decision when terminating her 4 pregnancies. She says it was certainly not an easy decision to abort 4 of my unborn children. But I realized that it would be unfair to bring those children into the world when I barely had the money to look after my son.
But it's more fair to kill them.
Wait, okay.
Right.
Are there? I know you're not done with the article. Are there any comments on adoption in Great Britain in there?
That's what I was going to say. Is like, I mean, like, why not? I mean, adopt them out. Kind of. Now, I know. I mean, I'm reading this really good piece by the Family Research Council, which I will link to. Grace, remind me to link to this because I'm going to forget. But that's talked about why a lot of women in crisis pregnancies don't immediately go to adoption. Pro-lifers would kind of automatically think, duh, why don't you adopt, right?
Yeah.
And they've actually done a psychological study and explained kind of why a lot of women don't go there. But, I mean, the sad fact is, though, morally speaking, that obviously,
Well,
if you can't take care of the children, then we should be adopting them out to the parents that will take good care of them.
if I could speak to that just a moment, there's a common theme. I would say it's as much as 40% of the time that I'm in a discussion with someone who is pro-choice, who talks about how the excuse against adoption is not that the woman didn't. It's that the woman wouldn't want to do adoption because adoption is so terrible. Not that she didn't know about it or that she just chose against it. It's that, adoption's so terrible. And so when I hear this, it's like, what is this social opinion on that? And when a woman is choosing abortion 4 times in 3 years over adoption,
Right.
Is there something else going on here?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a couple things. Well, I have a question first.
Yeah.
How did her story get onto the news? Did she come forward and
she
say, "I want to
shared
share
it"?
this"?
Yeah, and it gets
really
into
interesting.
the reasons.
Okay.
For that.
So
Maybe we better wait and hear that.
Yeah. So I'll.
But I would say, I've talked to women obviously who have been through abortion
Right.
or who are contemplating that choice, and adoption is something that is many times quickly just thrown off. Right. And one of the arguments that I've given for that, in pro-adoption is, if I, having been someone who's been through an abortion who, feels very differently than I did at the time. Now, if I wanted to speak to my child, there's, it's a very finite when you talk about abortion. There's no going back.
Right.
There's no
Mhm.
making any
Right.
changes.
Right.
And at least with adoption, you're able to, at some point, say the things to your child that maybe you feel like you want to later on in life. But I think that thought process is what makes it so, what's the word? I don't, a decision they don't want.
They don't go there.
Because I think when you have an abortion, many women are in that panic mode.
Right.
They want to get it done, get it over with,
Right.
move on.
Right.
And adoption doesn't let you do that.